Chuck and Kelly, well, Carlos Danger, disgraced ex-Congressman Anthony Weiner, could be heading to jail. He was in court on Friday, pleaded guilty to a single count, and we're joined by our legal analyst from Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti, Chaz Farcher. Chaz, how are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Kelly. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
No, you bet. So Weiner pleaded guilty to a single count of transferring obscene material to a minor, part of a plea agreement. Why do you think he copped the plea here?
Well, I think the case is pretty strong against him. Whenever you have a defendant who's accepting a plea, it's usually because there's a pretty substantial amount of evidence against them. So the FBI had conducted a pretty involved investigation. It looks like they had some computer data, some text messages, and it looks like they also had the minor, the victim, as a potential witness. So it looks like it was a strong case against him. So the best thing to do at that point as a defendant is probably try and limit the sentencing exposure by cooperating.
Now, there have been a couple of reports. One says he could completely escape jail time. Another says he probably would look at maybe 2 years, give or take. Could the fact that he went to rehab, what effect does all of that have? And could he actually skate by with no jail time?
There is a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but technically he's facing probation to as much as 10 years. The 2 years that you hear about comes from the recommendation from the prosecutor. The federal government has recommended 24 to 27 months, so a little over 2 years is what they're recommending. I don't think he'll skate by without any jail time. It's a high-profile case. He's a high-profile defendant. It's in the public eye. Usually under the federal sentencing guidelines, which are a little different than state sentencing guidelines, you're usually looking at two primary factors: the conduct that's associated here, and it's reprehensible conduct, and two, also his criminal history. He doesn't really have a criminal history, but this also isn't his first kind of run-in with the sexting issue, so I think that will all be taken into account.
So a lot of the amateur attorneys out there, myself included, saw that Weiner signed a document that said, "I will not appeal any sentence given to me between 21 and 27 months." So the amateur attorneys out there, like myself, said, well, that means he's going to get 21 to 27 months. I know it's ultimately up to the judge, but do you think he's going to get 21 to 27 months?
The waiver of appeal is usually a part of pretty much any plea bargain. The prosecutors, when they agree they agree to recommend a sentence to the judge, and that's all they can do is recommend. The judge has the final say over whatever sentence is handed down. Mm-hmm. But usually as part of an agreement, even in state cases, for that recommendation, they agree not to appeal the sentence if it's, in fact, accepted by the judge. So just because there's a waiver of appeal doesn't necessarily change things, but that's usually part of the bargain to get that recommendation from the prosecutor to the judge, and that's something the judge will certainly consider.
Hey, one other quick thing. I know now his wife has filed for divorce. Could this conviction impact like child visitation?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, obviously, if he's in jail, there's not going to be, his wife can ask that there be no visitation while he's in jail and prison. Sometimes it's very difficult to force kids to go to those types of situations to see a parent. And then, New York, the interest for any child custody case is best interest of the child. And mom's certainly going to have a stronger case arguing that it's not in the child's best interest to be around the convicted sex offender, because he's now going to register as a sex offender for life.
Legal analyst from Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti, Chaz Farcher. Thanks, Chaz.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Good talking to you, Chaz Farcher.